If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? What's up, Internet? Jay here with Nerd Rage Against the Machine. Today we're going to talk about Mego's new Year of Fear Walmart exclusives. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not much of a horror guy. I have my movies, I think everyone does. But there is a lot for this line for everyone. So the two things I was able to pick up, and literally I just walked into Walmart the other day and they were there, score. I mean, imagine that for like Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black or G.I. Joe Classified was like that, where it's like, you hear about the bat, you walk in the store, there's a bunch of them. Cool. It was like a revelation, really. But I was able to pick up really the only parts of this that I really wanted. There are other figures, but the big thing is that they are doing them in the old boxed format. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is what Mego toys used to come in before blister packaging. They would have a box like this. Maybe they would have a flap, but more often than not, like the world's greatest monsters, the world's greatest superheroes, came in boxes more like this. Very simple window box with the character's name or logo at the bottom. And that was her, and so there's kind of a nice return to retro here. Now, the other box here, which is the Young Frankenstein set. First off, horror comedy, and definitely one of my favorite movies of all times. I've got to say, I love Young Frankenstein. I've even worked on an idea for a novel that's similar, but it's definitely in the Frankenstein mythology. But this here is a great looking set. This is a lot different. Mego, to my knowledge, has never produced anything like this. It's a very nice, very regal looking set. Little collector coin down here. And so I'm going to open both of these in front of you right now. These are all brand new, so I have to get out the old X-Acto knife. I think the best way to do this here, I think I'm going to... There it is. Just really quick there. Just a gentle slice. And this whole box should just pop right open. So this first figure, if I can get him open, is the Toxic Avenger from the Trauma series. He is not liking that. I think I'm going to hit him from the bottom and see if that helps at all. One sec. There we are. These boxes do not like to open. It looks like I'm going to have to damage it one way or the other to get it open, which really sucked. I kind of wanted to keep the box as was. But here is the figure himself. Again, the Toxic Avenger. True to standard Mego form, this is the typical Mego Type B or Type C body with elastic stringing it together. In this case, he's wearing the weird leotard and shoe combo. He also comes with a, if I can get it out here, he comes with a mop. Now, I think, and correct me, again, if anyone out there is a Mego aficionado and knows better, correct me if I'm wrong, this may be a reproduction of the broom, or at least a modification of the broom from the Wicked Witch. But again, he has his own mop to battle for justice with. If I can get it in his hands. Mego hands are still as standard as ever in this figure. So, but there he goes. There we got the mop in hand, and there you go. There is the Mego Toxic Avenger. Now, the one downside to using these bodies, the more I've thought about it recently especially, is the fact that the bodies, using the same body, it's fine, except for it always looks better with more clothes. The more clothed the character is, the more you're going to get a good look out of it. Because, comparing, say, Jean-Luc Picard to Fonzie, the clothes are what you're looking at, not the physique. But someone like Conan or He-Man, where you're using the same body that you would use for, like I said, the Fonz or J.R. Ewing or Major Nelson for the I Dream of Jeannie line. Conan looks more like he's cosplaying Conan. And that's true with, some of the other superheroes like Thor and the like, where you have those more obvious physiques. And I would say that's the only failing I have for this guy is, the Toxic Avenger should be massively huge. I mean, I'm kind of glad they didn't do like a before and after figure, pre-toxin or pre-nuclear waste Toxic Avenger and post-nuclear waste Toxic Avenger, because then you would have really seen a very small change and it would have looked terrible. But again, the face mold is great, the costuming is spot on, and even the shoes are kind of fun with, and of course, it wouldn't be the Toxic Avenger without a mop. So I would say 4 out of 5 for this set or this figure, and it looks really good. And honestly, the price was right too. These were about $10. Now think about that, especially when comparing to something like the G.I. Joe Classifieds, where it's $22 for a 6-inch figure, molded and granted more parts and more articulation, but you can't really beat the fact that this is $8 with a cloth costume. That's a pretty impressive deal for $10. So let's get into this one. This one was actually $20, which I'm impressed because Mego stuff was going for about 15, 12 to 15. So if I can get this in here and kind of slice the sides. Now this one, again, this is the first time I'm opening these, so if I do any damage to the packaging, it's all on me. This one was a little different from what I've seen. They actually do come on cards underneath this. So this really elaborate packaging just brings you the figures in this. Now there's also this really nice coin in here, which I'm gonna spend a second trying to slice out because I'd like to see how it looks on both ends. It's kind of taped in here, really. It's almost like they don't want you to get it out. I'm going to have to basically destroy this package to get to this coin, which kind of sucks, but what the hell, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And even then, it's in a plastic shell, which seems like it's tough to get out of. But on the back, it says, World's Greatest Mego, and then on the other side, it has the Mego logo. Very nice little coin, really. Definitely a nice little collectible. Now, as for the figures themselves, we've got Victor von Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Let's keep the names right, people. And I'm just going to, again, try. Very nice to do as little damage to this packaging as possible, even though I'm vehemently convinced that I'm going to destroy this packaging, whether it likes it or not. But here we go. This is Frankenstein, played by the talented Gene Wilder. The figure looks just like Gene Wilder, really, and I wouldn't doubt if those are the same shoes molded as the ones used on Toxie over there. It does come with a dapper top hat. Oops. And a cane. Now, incidentally, they have done a lab coat Frankenstein as well as a Willy Wonka. So I think they've at least had a few chances to use the Gene Wilder image or likeness. I don't know if these are new castings or new head sculpts, or if they just, simply used the Willy Wonka and, made the top hat black instead of purple. Mego is kind of known for reusing things. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but there you go. And there is him with his dapper walking stick and top hat, all ready for a night on the town. Now then, we're going to do the same thing with the monster here, played by Peter Boyle. I don't believe Mego has done anything with Peter Boyle's likeness before. I don't even know if they've done. I think there was talk at least of a Young Frankenstein monster figure, i.e., him more in the green and brown rags that you would see the monster in the first parts of the film, or after he attains life. But again, just like Victor, same exact outfit. Definitely got the balding head and the dapper top hat to go with. and also coming with a walking stick. Now, one thing that's a little strange here, unlike the he doesn't have a way of holding this because they gave him a different set of hands. Mego, again, almost always uses the same body parts, but for some reason they gave the monster like hands outstretched like this as opposed to the normal like this look of the hands. Which means he really can't even hold his walking stick, which kind of bites. But otherwise, they do make a dapper pair. Again, this is from the putting on the Ritz scene from the movie. And definitely a great little display piece. They look amazing, especially next to the Toxic Avenger. But again, I think these would look great on a shelf, and again, especially in my movie room, because, you know, hey, okay, I'll get that later. But, you know, they look great. I'm wondering if they're going to do any more Mel Brooks style films. You know, I would love to see a Blazing Saddles line. I would say Spaceballs. That would be amazing, but only time will tell on that. I know there was an unwritten rule back in the day when Lucas owned LucasArts that they couldn't make Star Wars or Spaceballs memorabilia in the form of action figures, but that was an unwritten rule, and Marty Abrams is a bit of a maverick as a toy maker, so it's entirely possible. Again, I can't say enough good things about the packaging. I love they're going back to these boxes. I would love to see more of this, and definitely more in other genres. Classic Star Trek, superheroes. They do have the DC license now for 8-inch cloth-covered figures, so maybe we'll see some of those. I would love to also see them do some independent figures, some independent heroes. If they could get to write something like The Boys or Invincible, those would be amazing, I think. And it's something that I think that Mego could easily pursue. As with most Mego figures, you know, they've got the same highly designed articulation, 14 points of articulation, the band body, and really there's not much else I can say about them other than, again, the sculpts look great, and these are, again, brand new. They are a Walmart exclusive. They're available apparently right now because, like I said, this was not something I was planning. I actually went into Walmart looking for a few Star Wars Black Series figures, and, well, I was out of luck. I was walking through the entertainment section where the video games are, and I saw these on the shelf and was like, oh yeah, score. So I grabbed exactly what I wanted. The box single figures, I know they also do the Nun from The Conjuring, I believe, the Invisible Man, and the Reptile. And there's also a set with the Fly and the Wolf Man in this nice deluxe, now ruined Mego packaging like this. So again, if you're into classic horror movies and memorabilia, or if you just like Mego and want to support them, I recommend checking them out at Walmart. They look amazing, in my opinion. They are well done. They are definitely an evolution of the Mego brand, and they don't fall apart like Nika's do. I've had one or two have some issues, but as far as the strings go, they can always be restrung, and there's plenty of replacement parts on the open market if something really does happen to your figures. You know, you don't have to worry about it like you would with some lines. So with that, I'm going to say again, I'm going to give these guys at least a 4 out of 5, maybe even a 5 out of 5. They look great. Again, you know, temper your expectations as they are. Mego, like if you don't know what Megos are going to look like, you know, don't expect the bodies to be, you know, especially like with the Toxic Avenger, don't expect them to be super buff. Because again, it's the same body for all three figures other than the hands and the heads. And the accessories, of course, and the cloth costumes. But the bodies themselves are pretty much all the same, and that's one of the things that Mego has always done. The line, though, like I said, they all looked good. It's just, again, I'm not a big fan of the Reptile. I consider the Invisible Man. Like I said, I'm not a huge horror guy in general. I have a few movies I love, like The Evil Dead, Alien, but I definitely am a huge fan of Mel Brooks and Young Frankenstein, and I always liked the Toxic Avenger, so I at least grabbed them, and they look great. So I guess that I'm going to say I bid you all adieu and happy collecting.